Happy you could join us. We are with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes Partisan and Red Apron in Penn Quarter, also Partisan locations in Union Market, down in Merrifield as well, with B-Side next door. Greg, great to see you as always. What do we have on tap this week?
This week we have a new beer from Cascade that they haven't released since 2011. Tangerine Dream. Obviously, we've talked about Cascade from Oregon, maker of delicious sour ales. Really among the first to create American-style sour ales. Back for the first releases stretch back to 2006. Art Lawrence, who started Cascade Brewing in the late 90s, and Ron Gansberg came on to help brew. They both have been around the Portland brewing scene for a long time. Art doing Portland Brewing Company, Ron was doing Bridgeport. They came together, and back then, everybody was making IPAs, right? And they still are. A lot of wheat beers, classic styles, and they were looking for a way to kind of stand out in a very crowded Portland market, and came upon the idea of utilizing what's local. Wine barrels, because those amazing wineries, fresh fruit everywhere, and tried to go for like their version of sours. And when we taste this beer, you'll see, because we've talked about Cascade before, what's interesting is that there's no Brett character. They decided to not go the way of like the old world Belgians and have Brett, largely because they wanted to differentiate. They went with mostly lactobacillus for acidity, but also because they wanted full richness on the palate, some stronger versions. All the Brett will always just dry you out. So you'll taste, when we taste this is actually 10.3% alcohol. Ooh. It's big and bold and round on the palate, not bone dry, nicely tart. And certainly a style all its own.
Oh, wow.
Very, wow. I love it beer.
Not usually a huge fan of beers that make me really pucker up, but that is good.
Yeah, because it's got so much more body to it. I mean, first off, this is a blend. They're great at blending, obviously, and so they have a bunch of base beers aging in lots of things. This is a blend of two different base beers, a quad, like a big, rich, strong beer, and a blonde ale, aged in a host of different bourbon and wine barrels. So you've got that, like, there's oaky character here, there's rich body to the beer, so it's not just acidic, it's got a lot more layers of flavor on the palate. And what I also love about this is called Tangerine Dream. So they've aged it for 18 months in barrel. You'll see it's 2015, like wine. That's that's when the beer was brewed. It's back in 15, then bottled after 18 months, more recently. So just like wine, but aged with tangerine peel, mandarin peel, apricots, and some vanilla beans. So it's like, even though it's called Tangerine Dream, it's almost a little misleading because I think it's more complex. It's certainly not just a standard tangerine sour beer.
What would you pair it with?
Tangerine Dream, but 10.3% alcohol, rich and round on the palate. I love this with big grilled meats, steaks, lamb chops, but then also like grilled salmon. I could see doing this with some charred octopus, would be phenomenal. Cubano sandwiches, delicious, pickle tartness, rich cheese and ham, pork on there. I think all of that would be great. And even I could see doing this with like some barbecue chicken as well.
Absolutely. All right, Greg, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and remember to beat the heat with Beer of the Week.